Good morning, folks. Today is August 1st, 2025, and this is Coffee with Community Services, Alta California Regional Center's weekly service provider meeting. For those of you that may be new, this is a reminder that we have ASL interpreters here. Additionally, this will be recorded and is available on YouTube as well. Thank you. I am going to do our agenda and introductions of staff. So I'll actually do our agenda first. So we're going to hear from Michael with our sign of the week and Deaf Culture 101. We have a spotlight from our friends from All's Well talking about the DSP internship program. We are going to have David and Sharon. And Sharon, do you need to share your screen? Maybe I'll make you a co-host anyways. They're going to be presenting about some upcoming training opportunities that are going to be available to keep money safe. Michelle Duchesne's going to give some updates on some rate study, rate implementation changes as it relates to residential care and talking about day programs, quality assurance issues. We're going to give an update on the statewide standardization of regional center activities. And so we're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss the new computer system from the Department of Developmental Services, LOIS. There was a webinar on that one. And we're going to give an update on exemptions as well, because we have an update from the department on that. If there's anything else that folks are interested in discussing, please make sure you put it in the chat. I'd like to welcome from our Community Services Department. We have on Dee Dee this morning and Tom, good morning. We have from Executive Management, a client advocate, David Lopez is on, good morning. Also from Community Services, we have Alejandra and Sharon and Marty and our lead Jason that are on, and also see Monet and Damien and Rhonda and Michael as well from Community Services, and our manager, Michelle Duchesne. Additionally, from Community Services, we have Boyd and Christine on this morning. Good morning. As well as Kylie and Megan from Community Services. Page 2 of our group, we've got my assistant Zach is on. Good morning. And we've got Ethan and our manager Helen from Community Services. We additionally have Jessica and Beverly and Christy and Hubert from Community Services as well. And of course, our Specialized Services and Supports Manager, Jordan Eller. All right, I'm going to kick it over to Michael Mercado for your sign of the week and Deaf Culture 101.
All right, hello, good morning. So our signs of the week, we're going to focus on some days. It'll be yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So we'll start with yesterday. You're going to close your hand, start at the front, and go to the back. So imagine like you're going in the past. So yesterday. Our second is today. Like this. And then we have tomorrow. So same hand shape as yesterday, brushing forward. So like it's in the future on that timeline. So we'll do those again. So we have yesterday, like 2 taps, today, and then a brush forward for tomorrow. Great, good job. Okay, for Deaf Culture 101. We're going to talk about how to screen hearing individuals who apply for an ASL position. Why I want to talk about this is because some programs in the past have asked, how can I know that someone is fluent in ASL? Sometimes there are providers or directors who don't really know much about ASL and are wondering how to screen for those individuals. So oftentimes hearing people will see an application for an ASL position and will apply and say, I know ASL, I've taken American Sign Language classes. But taking ASL 1 and 2 does not mean that you're qualified to work with deaf and hard of hearing individuals who use sign language. So, how can you figure out getting the correct person if they are interested in an American Sign Language position? So, I have a few examples and suggestions. So the first thing would be to review their resume, look at their experience and any volunteer work that they have out in the deaf and hard of hearing community. We have do's and don'ts that you would look for. So look and see if maybe they've worked at a deaf school in the dorm. So typically, at schools for the deaf, they'll have a dorm and they have staff members who are there and they're interacting with a lot of deaf children and communicating day and night in sign language. So that can show really good fluency. Look for if they've volunteered with any deaf organizations, any nonprofits. So maybe they've joined one of their jobs, for example, STEP. They have ILS specifically for deaf and hard of hearing participants. And then even NorCal has deaf and hard of hearing programs. So see if they've worked with the deaf and hard of hearing population previously. Another thing to look for is maybe they've worked at a deaf camp during the summer. In summer, there are a lot of very focused camps on deaf individuals. So what you're not really looking for is, oh, I took ASL 1 and 2 in school, or I learned sign language online or through an app. That doesn't give you the best idea of fluency. Or they say, oh, I use baby signs with toddlers. That is not a justifiable qualification. Another thing you can use to figure out if they're qualified is check their college education. If they have done anything for deaf studies or interpreter training courses. And if they've taken ASL classes, make sure they've taken other deaf and hard of hearing courses. So example, deaf culture, have they taken ASL linguistics, deaf history, or even ASL to English translation? And see, have you taken those courses before? If they have, that means that they're going to have a better qualification. Again, some don'ts. You don't want to look for maybe they only took 1 or 2 ASL classes in a field, or if they have only taken beginner ASL culture or ASL courses without any cultural studies. That is not what you want to look for. So if you notice that they have these qualifications, but you still aren't sure if they're fluent because maybe you yourself don't know sign language, you can partner with an agency that provides an actual ASL proficiency test. So they can screen and confirm their skills. So you can kind of let them know what the expectations are. And that proficiency test is the same as a spoken language proficiency exam. So that agency will observe their skills. So they will have something spoken and they will interpret it into American Sign Language, or it will be sign language into English. So same concept, whichever way you're going. So again, taking ASL classes is a very good start, but it's not enough to become fluent in American Sign Language. You may wonder, okay, so how long does it take to become fluent in ASL? It can typically be between 5 to 7 years and continuous effort to become truly fluent. And really, it's about being able to meet deaf and hard of hearing individuals' community and conversational needs, communication needs. So if you're thinking about you want to have a deaf or hard of hearing individual in your program or someone who is fluent, now you have some tips about how to screen for one of those individuals. And hopefully this is helpful for you. And if you have any questions, please send me a message. I will put my email in the chat if you'd like any more information or would like to discuss it further. Thank you so much.
Sorry, Michael, I'm going to keep the spotlight on you just a little bit longer because I have some questions about the American Sign Language proficiency tests. Are you aware of, I believe that the Department of Rehabilitation has a test that they provide for like state employees that might want to have ASL proficiency. Would you be able to, if a provider wanted a referral to a place to get ASL proficiency testing, would you be able to help them find someone?
Yes, I do know of some that provide that ASL exam. So Gallaudet University is an example, the only deaf university in the world. It's called the ASLPI. So we're able to, you can contact Gallaudet University and say you'd like to take the exam. Um, it is a little higher level. And then another one is at RIT in New York. They also have an exam. Another option is the ASL shop has an ASL exam as well. There are more and more becoming established because the goal is to see more of those proficiency tests nationwide.
And Michael, these are obviously offered in some type of virtual format. We're not having people travel in person to New York.
Correct. Yes, these can be done virtually.
Excellent. If anyone is interested in any resources like this for the future, please don't hesitate to reach out to Michael. He'll put his email there in the chat. And thank you again, Michael, for a great topic. All right. Thank you so much for that. I actually want to now throw it over to David and Sharon. And Sharon, if you wanted to do the North Orange County Office of Education stuff too, you could do that too. Continuing education, excuse me, you can do that too. So I'm gonna have you guys take it away.
Dave, you're on mute.
Oh, okay. Did I unmute myself?
Yes, now we can hear
Okay,
you.
all right. Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's having a great day. It is Friday. The best part of the week is Friday. I just wanted to open up and thank you for this opportunity, John and team, for talking about this really important subject. And I'm wondering if I'm doing this correctly, Sharon. Does everybody see my PowerPoint?
Yeah, hit on the bottom down there, the little present on the bottom, and it'll make it full screen.
All right, that's what I was trying to
That
do.
one right there. Yep. Oh,
Yeah,
over.
okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Good work.
All right, so today we're going to be talking about just a summary of what Sharon and I and my client advocate team have been working on. And we use the support of our client advisory committee. We're going to be talking about financial abuse prevention and how important it is for people with disabilities and people in general to be aware of the seriousness of financial abuse. I think if I were to take time to ask everybody if they've experienced a situation themselves or working with our population, you probably can give me a good scenario of something that happened to either one of our clients or even yourselves. Unfortunately, I hope that it didn't happen, but we cannot, this is something that just happens that sometimes we can't prevent. And we know that a lot of our people with disabilities, they become victims to this quite frequently. And I believe Sharon shared with us that there's a high data shared with us regarding how important financial abuse is and how our clients become victims. And so we want to bring the awareness of this topic to all of you. Those of you that are vendored and contracted with the regional center, our hope is to have you guys reach out to us at the end of this so that you have a resource that you can have us come out and talk to your clients, your care homes, if you're running a care home or a day program or any kind of program contractor with the regional center. So we'll go over this a little bit. So we want to talk about financial abuse is one of them. And here are the training objectives that we want to cover. This is a summary again of multiple trainings that we're going to be providing. This is not the full training, but to kind of give you a highlight, what we're going to be covering is what is financial abuse, what are some of the warning signs, and how to be safe with one's own money online, and how to be safe with their own money, my own money in the community as well as at home. Our clients don't always have to be in the community for them to be taken advantage of. We know that they meet people and they bring people in their homes, and so sometimes they'll become victims of people who they think might be their friends. But somebody like John Decker, who's a friend of David Lopez, might take advantage of my own money because we're both Raider fans, and so he wants to buy the best Raider stuff, but he doesn't want to spend his own money. He wants to use my money. So just as an example, what do I do if someone accesses my money and accounts? A lot of our clients, I feel that this is where they get stuck in all these areas, but right here is where they really get stuck, I feel, and they need that extra support. So educating them, making them aware of how to access those accounts, build a support team around them that can show them how to do that. So again, I'm repetitive here, but keeping my money safe. Again, it's going to be presented by myself and my team, Jacob Miller and Raven Johnson. We're going to be teaming up with Sharon Kaprinsky. We've created this presentation with the help of her and as well as feedback from our client advisory committee. They felt like we had it all in one presentation, but they felt like we needed to break this up, which really makes sense, especially if we're speaking to our clients that we're serving. It just makes it much more easier and simpler to understand. They did mention to bring more pictures into it to help identify the words. So in this presentation, again, we'll be covering financial abuse, warning signs, how to be careful with my money online, money that I have in the community while I'm out in the community and at home. And then we're going to also be talking about what is the role of a payee representative, what do they do, and what's the specific role that they do. And then what do I do if someone accesses my money? We're also going to be covering social media. Social media, as we all know, is a big thing in today's time. And we do know through social media that people with disabilities do get taken advantage of through social media. So we have to really be careful about how to do things on there and how to keep safe during social media. I think, a lot of us have read reports on how to keep things confidential. Facebook is a great example. You don't want certain people to see your Facebook page. So there's certain settings that you can set up to kind of give certain permission to certain people where you're not showing the whole world your life. So you definitely want to keep safe with that. So we're talking about internet safety. We're also talking about keeping your password safe, making sure that other people don't have access to your passwords. We're also going to be talking about what to share and what not to share online when it comes to sharing confidential information, your personal address, your contact numbers, etc., social security numbers. So, if I was online communicating with John on social media and I just met him, and he said, "Hey, man, do you mind giving me your number? And if you give me your social security number, I could help you access Las Vegas Raider tickets." As y'all know, I'm a Raider fan. I don't know if that's a good idea, especially after just meeting John and getting to know John. It's not a good idea for him to have access to my personal information. So we talk about, scams and then how to shop safe online. I think all of us, regardless if you have a disability or not, can really learn from this as well. And I think if a lot of us that are parents online, this is kind of what we share with our kids too as they get into the social media world. Don't share your personal information. So we as adults and as children, we have to make sure, and as people with disabilities, we have to make sure that they're staying as safe as possible. So that just kind of covers real quick what we're going to be covering. We're going to have more detailed information as we present this information. So it's not going to go as quick as it is today. I think we just wanted to do this to respect everybody's time and John having other presentations and other topics to want to talk about. But we'll take any questions if there's any questions. And I do want to give Sharon an opportunity to add in as her and I have worked together with our team. So Sharon, I'm going to leave it to you if you want to add anything else. Jordan, I know you were a big supporter in this process too. So Jordan and Sharon, I'll leave it open to you. And then after that, John, if we have time, we'll take some questions.
Perfect. So thanks, David. Yeah, you pretty much summed everything up. So basically we decided to do this presentation after we were seeing a huge increase in incident reports where clients were victimized financially by family members, by online community friends, staff from various agencies and things like that. And so we really felt it was important to educate all of our clients on the need to protect their financial situation, to educate them about the apps that are out there that can help them if they wanted to start saving money for something. And then obviously online safety with the internet and scams that are really prevalent, as well as what happens afterwards if they do become a victim of identity theft or financial abuse and things like that. So that's what these were created for. And if you want us to come out, we're happy to do that. And we can provide the training, either one big lump sum training, especially if it's just to staff, or we can break it down into the two different trainings, whichever you are all wanting. For
I would just say I saw Carol Wilhelm, and I can't think of the number of times that Carol and I have dealt with situations like this with folks within her unit that have gone on. And when they brought this to our attention, I also just reflected on how many of Alta's own staff have been scammed in ways like this recently as well. And so I think this is a fantastic opportunity to provide, education for your staff, for clients individually, being able to have our own clients. I don't know if David, are other client advocates also presenting, or is it just going to be you for this go around, or is it going to be Jacob and Reva as well?
It's going to be a combination of all three of us, maybe all of us working with Sharon as they could reach out to any of us. My team, I like to conquer and divide, so it might just be one client advocate working with Sharon. It might be several of us, so it all varies. We'll work with the programs on what they think is the best to accommodate their staff or their clients. So we're open to anything and everything. We're flexible.
Thank you, guys. Regional centers are required to have a risk management plan, and we're required to review the special incident reports that come in, look at those incidences like Sharon mentioned. And so this is you guys doing something about it. And so I really appreciate that. This is us, seeing what's going on and trying to provide hopefully some preventative education for folks.
Yeah. Real quick,
David, let me have you stop sharing that screen, and we want to make sure that we
Sure.
get that PowerPoint into the chat as well.
I just want to say, John, thank you for letting me pick on you. For those of you that don't know, I know John for many years, so I can do this. And I will make sure and put my contact number in the chat as well, so you guys could reach out to me directly if you're interested in me coming out to your program or talk to your specific clients in general. Happy to work with you and flexible to work with you as much as possible. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, Sharon, we're going to do All's Well, and then we'll do the...
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so All's Well, Sophia and Jessica.
Yeah, I'm actually the only one left, but just unfortunately had to hop off. But
Right.
I'll share a little bit of the information about the program that we do currently offer. Let me know if you guys are able to see my screen. Let me see it. Am I able to share? I think I am. Oh, there you go. Okay, perfect. I think. Are you guys able to
Looks
see it?
great. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Perfect. Great. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for having us here. We're so happy. This is going to be a little bit of an overview of the program that we currently offer through the Department of Developmental Services. So here's a little bit about All's Well. We're a healthcare staffing agency. We're proudly operating under the Ackman Group. It's a global leader in workforce solutions.
Hey, real quick, just because these people know what All's Well is and the DSP internship, why don't we just explain to them why we're doing this? We weren't necessarily sure what the funding was going to be for this project moving forward, and it looks like it's going to continue to be funded, right, Sophia?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
Awesome.
we're hoping to have this program run up until at least January of this upcoming year. And then depending on kind of how things go from there on, the program may extend to the following year. So,
Thank you. I just because Jessica's spoken with this group a couple times in the past, and but it's been over a year, so this is
oh,
why we're bringing All Is Well back, folks.
okay, awesome, perfect.
Take it
I
away.
appreciate that. No worries. So yeah, so Act One Group operates in 33 different countries, supporting over 17,000 clients. And we do have a couple sister companies that are great as well. We do mainly focus on healthcare. As far as Allswell goes, we only focus on healthcare staffing at this time. So here's a brief overview of the program itself. We're partnered again with California Department of Developmental Services, or DDS, to launch a paid 3-month shadowing training for the interns. In this case, interns are allowed to work up to 30 hours per week with the compensation at the applicable minimum wage rate for the city that they work in. Throughout their shadowing training, DSP interns will work alongside with the DSP mentor to learn more about the responsibilities of the role and the clients that they will serve. The best part is you can hire those DSP interns pretty much at any point during the 3 months shadowing internship. It's very much up to the provider. So some of the things that interns are permitted to do in this case would be assisting with like meal preparation. They can do activities of like daily living with those individuals. They can do assistance with like basic personal care. They can do like daily documentation and tracking, and also just engage and like socialize with them and do like community integrations. Now, some of the things that unfortunately interns are not permitted to do during the program would be implementing behavior support strategies, transporting clients using their personal vehicle or company fleet, manage medications or provide medical assistance, or work overnight, inactive overnight shifts. And they also don't count towards the staffing ratio until they're fully converted by the provider. Here's a program objective. So objective number 1, this is to promote a DSP role and strengthen the workforce by offering opportunities to entry-level individuals, particularly those with underserved and like ethnic communities. Who may be unfamiliar with the DSP role. This initiative also targets individuals seeking direct experience to enhance their knowledge for careers in fields such as physical therapy, occupational therapy, and other fields. Objective number 2, this is also to increase the hiring and retention of DSPs, creating pathways for career growth while equipping them with the necessary skills to provide high quality services. And objective number 3, this is to streamline the process of sourcing, interviewing, and vetting candidates, allowing the service providers to focus on training and assessing whether a candidate is a good fit for their permanent positions at their facility.
Sophia, I'm gonna hop in really quick. So sorry, guys, for the confusion. My meeting, it got pushed back for 5 minutes. So I am gonna hop off very soon, but I did want to just chime in and say thank you so much, John, for allowing us to present on the call. As you guys know, this program has, we're looking for more providers, and we would absolutely love to work with you guys. We've worked with several under Alta. You guys have been super supportive. You guys were our first phase, and we have made so many improvements. So a lot of you already know about the program, but if you're interested, just reach out to John and his team. He can send you the vendor list to sign up, and we can have a conversation. You can also reach out to me to kind of get that started, even though you still do have to sign up on the list. But definitely reach out to either Sophia and I, and we will take care of you. We'll go through the full program and kind of deep dive into it. Just to kind of share some stats with you before I hop off. We have placed nearly 300 interns over the course of about a year in some change, not incredibly long. It was slow to start, but it has been introduced to all 21 regional centers at the end of last year. So we have made some great movement. We've seen some great movement with this program here, and we've had close to 100 interns that have been converted to full-time employee or permanent, not necessarily full-time. So it has been widely successful. And we definitely need more providers because we actually have lots of interns email us every single day saying, hey, I'm interested. I've heard about the program. I'm coming in from food service, right? Or I'm coming in from, Uber, and I am looking for a stable career essentially. And this would be a perfect opportunity. And one of the things that I did want to highlight is that, again, this program is fully funded by the department. So there's no, cost to providers. The only thing that you guys really are worried about is just assessing and training the intern. That's all you have to do to see if it's, they're a good fit for a permit role. Otherwise, if they're not a fit, that's okay. We welcome it. We've had interns say, you know what, I've tried this for a couple of weeks. I don't think this is for me. And that's exactly what we want to hear, right? At least they gave, a fair shot. And then we've had interns come to us and say that this, they found their calling. So definitely let us know if you're interested. We'll go in and, sign you guys up and meet with your team and go from there. So I have
On our end, real quick, Jessica, on our end, refresh my recollection. First of all, I was hoping, Sophia, that you did have a slide that said we did 100 conversions already. But there is a regional center, as you mentioned. I think there's a regional center like approval, or there's a regional center review for any service provider that is interested in doing this. And so, again, you can certainly email me. Jessica has put her email address out there. Probably good to CC her at the same time if you're reaching into the regional center about it. But I know we do need to confirm on our end before you guys get set up. And I know we've had an adoption here at our regional center, but we're looking at a further expansion to help support you all, bringing on the most qualified, talented staff possible, and hopefully not at a big additional cost to you.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And that you're correct. There is a link that DDS sent to you. So be able to send it out to the vendors and then it'll come to us. But again, my email is in the chat. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions. I am gonna hop off. Sophia, you can hop off with me.
I was just gonna see if there's anything else from the PowerPoint that you've again, they kind of know the overview, but I do want to give them an opportunity like Eric to be able to ask some questions and make comments. So Eric, you wanna do this while we have
Yeah.
John, actually, it's just a comment for you. Have we looked at ways of integrating this with the DSP collaborative? You're on mute.
Oh yeah.
I'm muted. That was how we got involved in the very beginning of being the pilot, was because we were already doing the DSP collaborative, and they knew our regional center had kind of made this stated commitment to support, our service providers bringing on talented folks. So yes, now that we are looking at, a statewide, distribution of this to all 21 regional centers, and especially now that the DSP collaborative is successfully transitioning to Los Angeles County now. At this time, I think it's a good opportunity to talk about, doing maybe kind of a dual type of event or something like that, or at least, making sure that we have an all's well booth, set up at our job fairs, those types of things.
I think it's just important that we don't overlap too much because, we still want to hire the same staff. We'd want them to bring in new staff into the system, not necessarily divert staff that
Adjacent,
could jump in. But there's definitely an interesting opportunity there. So, all right, thanks.
And I want to piggyback off that before I do hop off. We welcome referrals. So let's say that there's an intern that has, maybe not the experience that you guys are looking for. If you want to push them through the program, we can assign them to your facility. So you can almost try before you buy. So it's a great opportunity to say, I'm going to give you a shot, but let's let the state pay for it, right? So, just to see if it could be a permanent fit. So yeah.
And this is for everyone too. Remember, this is like for small agencies that have a lot of capacity. Eric serves 6,500, 7,000 clients or something like that through UCP of Northern California. They're huge, right? Everyone's going to have to operationalize it a little bit differently. How you bring people on, but all as well can work with you regardless of the size of your company too.
Absolutely, yes. The only program types that we do not currently support are level 4 homes. Any behavioral, if it's moderate to severe behaviors, we are not able to EBS, HCCH, ABA companies, unless you have a social recreation program, we're happy to take you in. Or highly aggressive or violent behavior, simply because per DDS, it's really an opportunity for entry-level people to kind of get a feel for it and then work their way up to those higher level settings. So, but if you have questions on what mild behaviors could be considered, or, we're happy to have those conversations with you guys. So yeah, just send us an email. All right, I'm gonna hop off because I'm now late for my meeting. So thank you guys.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
A great refresher of what's available to all of our service providers here.
But yeah, just to kind of jump off of what Jess
Yeah.
said as well, here's some program types that we do currently support and some that we don't. Those include like ABA homes, CCH. So yeah, for the most part, we did find most of success with like daily, like day and Taylor day programs, and also like vocational services. We just find that, schedule wise, it's a little bit easier to have interns be converted into those full-time roles, but we also do supported living services, independent living services, and residential as well. So just to kind of like finish off here, some of the requirements, they're pretty minimal for the interns, but they do have to be like over 18, have their high school diploma. They must be authorized to work in the US, have a valid government issued ID. And then we do ask if interns are able to perform certain physical activities and duties, and if they also need any special accommodations alongside with that. And here's just kind of like a hiring process. So we do an extensive phone screening. Afterwards, we do assign a recruiter to interview the candidate. Afterwards, we do provide the information regarding the provider that we're going to place them with. And that's when afterwards, the candidate decides that they're interested. And if we're interested, then we move them through onboarding process. As far as the onboarding, it does include HCA registry, we do live scan, we do TB testing, education verification, references as well. So it's a pretty extensive process as far as the onboarding. We do have a medical compliance team in order to perform most of the onboarding for the interns. And it usually does take between 2 to 6 weeks. So that's usually like the expectations that we set with the providers, just to make sure that they're, aware of that. We do provide paid virtual training for the interns as well. That includes like sexual harassment training, the PPE, slip trips and falls prevention, child abuse and neglect. And they also watch a video that's called We're Here to Speak for Justice as well. And then after most of the process is done, we do schedule their start date with the provider, and then afterwards they start their internship, which again is up to 3 months. So the provider can reach back out to us and let us know if they're looking to move forward with the candidate at any point during that time. Here's some of the key points for the providers. This is a lot of information, but just to kind of like reiterate, as far as like payroll, so we do again take care of their workers' compensation, and this is fully covered by Allswell, as well as their onboarding and clearances as well, timekeeping and approvals. That's also all managed by Allswell through our portal system. We do also do mileage reimbursement in case the interns are using their vehicle to drive themselves during the work hours. They're not allowed to, again, drive the clients, but if they're looking to just drive themselves to the location, they can. Interns should be monitored 100% at all times during their program. That's just something that we do ask for the providers, to make sure that they're not left alone. Meal and rest period. Intern must adhere to California labor laws regarding meal and rest breaks, which is a 30-minute lunch after a 5-hour shift. There's a post-internship opportunities, which would do provide for them to have like a potential like permanent position at the facility. And then as far as the provider responsibilities, we do ask that, if we do submit a intern to you, or if, there's a potential candidate that we send over that we do get a response within 48 hours. This just ensures a smooth onboarding process, and that we can keep our interns engaged and excited for the opportunity. So here's some of the program benefits and just kind of like the next steps, which kind of just went over as well. Again, this isn't no cost to the providers. this expand, this opportunities to expand the workforce and to gain additional support to your team as well. And we do have a retention incentive for all the interns, which does usually, once they are fully converted, the first 6 months of work with the provider, they do receive a $500 stipend from Allswell, and then an additional $500 after another 6 months of work if they end up staying for a whole year with the provider. So that just incentivizes them to hopefully stay long term and kind of grow into those roles with your company. So again, there's some information on the right there that Jess provided. You're more than welcome to reach out to her as well, and I can also copy that in the chat later if anybody's interested. But I appreciate you, John. Thank you so much for having us come on here and share some information. We're super excited to work with the regional center and also all the providers in the Alta Regional Center. So thank you, everybody.
Excellent. Thank you very much, folks. And this is your reminder about Allswell and the availability to be able to utilize that. And please do reach out to them and take advantage of this. I was just talking to one of our longest term community services specialists, Denise Hopkins, yesterday about the We're Here to Speak for Justice movie. Are you guys still watching that when you get hired at the regional center? Is that something that's is that part of your ACRC still, new employee orientation? If not, I think we should add it for community services orientation.
Yeah.
Because we've certainly come a very long way when it comes to how we support individuals with developmental disabilities and their families in the state of California. And it's great that new interns that are coming on will at least have that baseline information. It's a fantastic video. It's only an hour long. I hope all of you have watched it. I'm actually going to drop a little link in the chat that talks about it for those of you that are interested. Just highly recommended for folks to view, to get an idea of kind of where we were at and where we've come from. I was very involved in the closure of the state developmental centers, and that way of serving people is really in the past now, and you guys are at the forefront of innovating services in the community, and hopefully Allswell can help you guys get some staff to be able to do it, because without the staff you can't do the innovation. All right, thank you very much. I'm going to throw it over to Michelle Duchesne, who's just got some quick updates related to our level 2, level 3 facilities and our behavioral and medical programs. Michelle?
Yeah, thanks, John. So just a reminder, all of you should have received an email from me if you're a level 2 or level 3 home. We're coming down to, before you know it, it'll be the end of December, and there's some compliance that is required within the directives for our rate reform. So for our level 2s and 3s, there will be a requirement for a wait night staff. There is an exemption to that. So there's an email sent out, just kind of the process for that, and also the new consultation requirements for level 3. So our team will be reaching out to you. We have a goal to reach out in August and October to get you guys started, to make the necessary addendums to your program designs, get your consultation information over to that, to our team. So that is the same with our medical and behavioral day services. As you guys know, there's consultation required for both of those services, and also training of staff. So really updating your program design with what that looks like for your identified consultation, and then updating your training manual. So our team will be reaching out to you over the next 4 or 5 months to make sure that you're fully compliant on that by the deadline of the 31st of December.
Excellent. Any questions for Michelle? Again, we're all implementing these new guidelines that we're all learning about just in this last year. And so we're going to do our very best to ensure that everyone's got I believe we've done our very best to give everyone the education about what the requirements are. And we're going to all work together to make sure that, we go through our quality assurance reviews and things like that. And we've got everything taken care of. So we recognize the transition that service providers are going through.
Sorry, I have a question. I can't figure out how to raise my hand.
You can always, Andrea, you can always just start talking. Go right ahead, please. Recruitment Alliance, yes.
Hi. Thank you. Sorry, and I just showed up, so this is like really good timing. Thank you, Michelle. So I was going to email. I had a question. If we're having trouble trying to hire and or contract with a behavioral consultant, have a little concern that we might not have that in place by December. What does that look like for folks? The training's no problem. We can get that going, but that like actually having someone ready to do that has been a little challenging.
I would right now, for any provider that feels like they may be in that situation, whether on the medical side or the behavioral side, to immediately try to connect with your assigned community services specialist so that you can meet like with Michelle and I. What we want to make sure is that we don't get to a point where there's any determination made that we are having you bill for a service that you're not even currently delivering right now. I don't know if that makes sense, because if we get to a point where we're in January or February and you don't have the specialist, so if anyone is in that position, medical or behavioral programs, please reach out to your specialist. Let's schedule a meeting. Let's put some, let's get something concrete and figured out here, hopefully in like August, September. I do not want to, let's not try to be surprised about things in November, December, and trying to like change authorizations and stuff. So that's our commitment. We'll work with you guys through that. And then we don't always have a ton of residential providers on here. We will definitely be working with the residential providers and the facility liaisons and the client and the service coordinators to make sure that all of our documents align with kind of some of these new requirements that are going to be in place for January. A lot for the regional center to operationalize right now.
Yes.
All right. Sharon, sorry, can I throw it back for North Orange to you, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So I got this resource sent over to me and I wanted to share it with everybody. I went to their website and it looks amazing. It is free college classes for our clients. It's through North Orange County. And they have classes that will be starting in August 11th and go through December. They have 2 semesters a year. Like I said, it's free, it's online. They have ASL interpreting available. The classes are social skills, self-advocacy, financial, boundaries and relationships, workplace skills, job skills, cooking, how to live independently, bill paying, computers, PowerPoint, Excel, all of those good things. So I really think it's something that we have a lot of clients that would benefit from this, that maybe aren't ready for going on campus in a community campus setting, that these courses are available to them and they are free. So even better. So I put the flyer in the chat up above, but I'll put the website in here again for anybody who's interested in it. But the information looks really, really good. And I'd really encourage any of our clients and programs to look into it for them.
Right on. And I know we've shared about this before. Carly is on their distribution list, and so she will present the I always call it NOCE, N-O-C-E, but she presents some of these ones. As a reminder for folks, Carly is out right now, and so if you are pending, try to reach out to Carly. Please don't hesitate to reach out to Michelle. Michelle Duchesne, you will see that if you shoot an email over to her, it just directs over there. So thank you so much for that, Sharon. We do really like to promote these types of opportunities. And again, check that in the chat there as well. Thank you so much. I wanted to touch on just a few more things here before we end. One, there's not much to talk about, and I don't know if we really want to, but we have heard from the department that the exemption requests, we will be getting a response in the next 2 to 3 weeks, possibly. Michelle Duchesne? Yes, all right. So we'll let you know. We will, as soon as you will hear, possibly even right around the same time that we do. Additionally, some of you had an opportunity to participate in the LOIS presentation that went on, the Life Outcomes Improvement Systems Project, which is named after, I believe it's one of the Olmsted plaintiffs from the and I will share in the chat a link to the DDS's webpage describing the LOIS system. I did have an opportunity to view it as well, and it does talk about some of the functions that are going to be part of it. And the reason why I share the information is I think it's very important for you as service providers to be very active in your utilizing your stakeholder voice. And so this is an opportunity for you as service providers, as they are still developing what the lowest system is going to look like, for you to have input and be influential. I know we did some of these activities a few years ago as we were implementing CERMS, and it seems like there has been now a renewed seeking of feedback from the public and from service providers as it relates to this future computer system. And so just wanted to make sure folks were aware of that. And then there was a, in the world of, I know I went over standardized vendorization at length with everyone last week, and I went in depth with it with our community services staff this week, and I will be spending my afternoon with the Department of Developmental Services, meeting with them, going over standardized vendorization. But there are a number of other things that are being standardized as well across the regional center system. And so this is a handy little chart that has a number of the different things: race, ethnicity, and language data definitions, respite assessment template processes, IPP templates and procedures. We're already passed on that one. Vendorization procedures. We are going to be implementing new procedures January 1. Intake processes, they're still working on, and then the generic and common regional center services. The reason why I'm sharing my screen with this, and why I am now going to share this little document here, is that they did provide an update that is effective the month of July on all of these initiatives. And again, I just feel like I'm not going to read and go over every single part of this, but for those of you that want to be involved in utilizing your stakeholder voice as service providers, I think it's important to know what's going on statewide. Whoops, I don't want to share my screen. I just want to drop this in the chat. And so in the chat, I believe you should be able to pull that up. And it's just from it was posted just a few days ago on DDS's website, but I think this is the update that possibly they gave to the legislative staffers, because it's got all the different things on it. With that, I don't believe we had anything else on our agenda. Jordan, I think we had mentioned that we might share some of the CRDP stuff, but I guess we can summarize that we had our meeting.
Yeah, we can. I could give us a quick snapshot in less than 4 minutes.
You sure can.
Let's do it. Okay, let me share my screen. So folks, as I don't have share screen abilities right now. So folks, on Tuesday, we had our stakeholder meeting to share with the public the results of our fiscal year 25-26 community resource development plan survey, right? Where we look to our community members to see what they feel are the most important development needs or undermet needs within their area. So do I have share screen ability now, John?
You do.
Okay, perfect. All right. And you guys are seeing my shared screen.
Looks great. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so folks, we were very excited this year. We got 253 responses, which is the most that we have received on a survey. So we were very excited to see that. These were the areas, the categories in which folks could say the priorities, right, that they felt. These are in order to most important to the least amount of responses. So you can see that affordable housing, transportation, and employment are amongst some of the top priorities that our community has. Very common for us to see behavioral services, residential services, right? Mental health services. So those are also amongst the middle. And then just so folks know, the other court category did have a fairly high amount. It was 20. The types of things that were listed under other were things like relationship classes, helping clients learn boundaries and consent, moral recognition therapy, recidivism prevention training, caregiver succession planning, right? So our family, coordinated family supports, supported living services in outlying areas. And then a few folks had said just more, just more programming for people that have autism. So those were some of the highest priorities, right? So you can see this here in regards to who completed the survey, right? It's always interesting to see who completed it. So of the 253 folks, we had 87 service providers, 85 family members, 61 clients, which is outstanding. That's the highest number of client survey responses we have received. Only 12 Alta staff members, that was a little bit lower. And then we had 8 other external stakeholders. And in regards to which county the respondents were from, the biggest responses were from 169 from Sacramento, 32 from Yolo, Placer had 24, El Dorado had 12, which was a significant increase for El Dorado since last year. And you can see kind of some smaller numbers from our smaller outlying counties. So this information will end up being shared on our transparency website once our agency determines our final priorities. So next steps is that we meet internally to look at the results. We also look at our internal data, and we're currently awaiting the CPP guidelines for fiscal year 25-26. So as soon as those come in, our agency will determine our development priorities and share that with the public.
Yeah, right now we believe we're going to have multifamily housing project. Rhonda has been in communication every single day with a number of different projects that we have in the pipeline. So we'll share with you about that. I felt bad last week that I was not able to show our open house video, and I wonder if it'll work this time. I think folks can spare the 36 seconds long that it is to share with everyone. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to optimize for video sharing, and I'm going to choose the correct screen, hopefully. And hopefully you guys can unmute and someone let me know if they're saying Alta California Regional Center.
Seeing the video.
Cool. All right. Well, I just again want to thank all of our service providers that came and supported the event. We heard from the participants for the Micro Enterprise Fair that they did fantastic with their sales. And so just again, can't thank you all enough for making our open house Micro Enterprise Fair a real success. And thanks again to all of the staff that are on here as well that helped volunteer for that event, even on very hot day there. So, all right, folks, I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. We will look forward to talking to folks next week. Take care. Thank you for our presenters. Bye-bye.